Leon Edwards and Sean Brady face off ahead of their fight this weekend at UFC London. Bryce Mitchell is out looking for lizard people in old mines. He posted footage to his Instagram. He wrote, "Check out these old mines with us. This is just one level. There's hundreds of levels. We found one ladder that was 400 feet down. This stuff is insane. And yes, we went down the 400-foot ladder. We haven't found any gold yet. Dang it."
Hey, we're out here hanging out in the mines. We crawled all the way down this old ladder. And at the bottom of this tunnel is a big old pile of skeletons. So some predator animal lives down this hole. We're looking for the lizard people. We still ain't found them yet. Something lives down there. It's into the abyss.
Bryce is set to face Jean Silva at UFC 314 next month. Bryce says that Silva is possessed by demons, and ever since the UFC 314 press conference, he's been having quote-unquote demonic dreams.
Good morning, y'all. I need all my Christian warriors to pray for me that I would have peaceful sleep. Every single night since the day before the press conference, I've had demonic dreams. Legions of demons are attacking me every single time I sleep, and not one time have I seen any peaceful sleep since that day. These demons surround me and they try to fight me and provoke me to anger, and then the dream will switch and they'll send beautiful women and they're trying to get me to lust, to cheat on my wife. Satan's using two of my weaknesses to try to expose the evil in my own heart, which is anger and lust. However, where I am weak, the Lord is strong. So please pray for me, especially if you're fasting right now. Please pray that I would have peaceful sleep, that God would send Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael, Samson, and King David to watch over me and protect me with the shield of faith. Remember, guys, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness, dark principalities, and evil powers in high places. I'm not just fighting a man on April 12th. I'm fighting a man possessed by a legion of demons. When I simply said the name Jesus, he was provoked to maliciousness. And he started barking like a dog and chanting, F you, F you, F you. Remember, guys, the days of me fighting for myself are long gone. I now fight for the name of the Lord. And the devil, he ain't going to waste his time trying to plague a loser. He knows that a victory for the Lord is at hand. I will win this fight in the name of Jesus Christ. The man's demons will be casted out of my presence, and he will fall before me just as Goliath fell before King David. And I know this, and I believe this with all my heart. And God told us if we just have faith the size of a mustard seed, we can move a mountain, and I do. But right now, I need y'all's help. Like I said, where I'm weak, the Lord is strong, and he will use y'all to show his strength right now. And I trust in the power of the church. I trust in the power of Jesus Christ. And please pray for me that I would have peace when I sleep. And I love y'all. And remember, if you're going through anything, this is what the church is for. You're not a coward for asking others for help. So God bless y'all, and please keep me in your prayers and your thoughts. And I love you. Amen.
Jean Silva responded to Bryce. He said, "Bryce, two things. These are not demons. It's just you being afraid to face me. And second, about the beautiful women, you have a hormone called testosterone, and you probably have problems with it. Just be ready for April 12th, because I will be." Robert Whittaker intends to compete at least one more time in the middleweight division before making a move up to light heavyweight. He has expressed interest in facing Sean Strickland as his next opponent.
Are you still considering the move up to light heavyweight? And if you do still plan on it, do you have any idea as to who you would like to fight up there? Because you mentioned it in a previous episode.
I'm going to decide after this next fight.
So one more at middleweight at least?
At the very least.
Okay.
At the very least. Depending on, I'm going to really try and push the boundaries of muscle to weight ratio and everything.
All right.
And just see where we come up.
And you mentioned before, probably Sean Strickland would be a number one.
That would be great. That would be great in an international fight week.
Islam Makhachev tries out his new choke once again. However, this time on the kid whose parents sent him to Dagestan to train for 2 to 3 years.
О, начал. А ну. С Германии пацан приехал на удушающий проверить. А ну. Работай. You good?
So strong. 3. Very well.
Very good.
Last week, Paddy Pimblett claimed that he ran into Colby Covington at Power Slap, and Colby allegedly avoided eye contact and stared at the floor.
There was lots of other people in there, bumped into Theo Von Beek, Kreischer, had a laugh with them. Walked past Colby Covington, he stared at the floor, talks a big game online, his undies in person.
Michael Bisping and Paul Felder shared their perspectives on the situation, stating that they have spent time with Colby personally and found him to be a genuinely nice guy. They emphasized that Colby's public persona is merely a gimmick and does not reflect his true character.
The real issue is, and Paddy's right, he is quiet in person because the real situation is he has nothing really against you, Paddy. He really doesn't actually want to talk to you. He doesn't really want to talk to most of these guys. He's only doing it so that he can keep himself relevant. And I think when he's finally retired, he'll be the first to admit to you that it was all complete bullshit, 100%. And I think now at what, 30, late 30s, towards the end of his career, he's just kind of even struggling to keep the same face with that bullshit. Dude, and that's the problem with that type of personality, right? When it's not genuine, because it's not with Colby.
Yeah.
Because I've hung out with that guy for an extended period of time. And he's not like that.
And he was very pleasant. He was very well-mannered, very well-spoken. He wasn't rude to anybody. I've spoke about it on here. I saw him at the airport and I was watching him in the lounge. Just the way he was interacting with people. He was like,
super nice.
He would be like, let's just say he was acting or behaving as if President Trump was in the room and he wanted to make a good impression. He was super well-mannered and cordial and standing up and shaking people's hands and stuff like that, because I was just sitting by myself having my airport drink pre-flight and just like keeping one eye, because I've only got one, on him. I was just kind of observing it, you know what I mean? And he was like somebody's mother would be happy if their daughter was dating that guy. That's how he was conducting
himself. Which is crazy, because he plays the total opposite of that in his.
But remember, he was on the verge of getting cut, and I think it's when he fought Damian Maia in Brazil. And I think he wasn't on the verge. I think he was told he was going to get cut. Then he cuts that crazy promo, calls everyone filthy pieces of garbage or rats or whatever he said in Brazil, and gets another contract and then reinvents himself. To your point, it's one thing saying all that stuff on a microphone, like Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen's a quiet dude, man. I work with him here and there on ESPN. I've been around him. I've fought him, for crying out loud. He's not loud and obnoxious and annoying. He's very quiet, and he's just looking at his phone. He's got his glasses on, but then it cuts to him, and he's like, okay, and he's got something crazy to say.
Carlos Ulberg is set to face Jan Blachowicz this weekend at UFC London. He's aiming to score a knockout victory and move one step closer to a title shot.
It's like he's someone that I respect the guy. He's definitely someone that I've been looking at coming up in the rankings. So to get that name was good. Like, it was someone in the top 5 anyway. I think anyone in that top 5 is someone that I was looking to get next. Yeah, very grateful. Actually, obviously it would be nice to get the knockout and just save the body, but also really nice to be able to stick in there with someone who has experience in the octagon, and I'm quite happy with the result, and also to do it to someone who's been in there, who's fought 5 rounds, and been in there with some of the best in the game. He may want to, because I think he's smart enough to know that if he wants to get a title shot soon, then he may have to make this a very dominant fight rather than take someone down. So, or a fight that's going to be quite exciting. So everyone knows, all the fans know that whenever I step in the octagon, I'm here to put on a show and do what I come to do, which is create knockouts.
Following Roman Dolidze's unanimous decision victory over Marvin Vettori, he called out Israel Adesanya as his next potential opponent. Aljamain Sterling weighed in on the potential matchup, stating that if the fight is booked, he believes Roman would submit Izzy. Aljo says he's grappled with Roman before himself and has heard stories of him grappling with John Jones.
I mean, if Roman could get him down, I think Roman could submit him relatively easy. And I'm only saying that because I've seen Roman grapple. I've grappled with Roman. Of course, he's twice my size. but his skills on the ground are actually super legit. I've heard stories about him grappling with John Jones and in the past, like a few years ago. So my intuition tells me if he takes down Izzy, he's probably submitting Izzy. He's just a veteran on the ground. He's just really good. He doesn't really have great takedowns though. You know, I think he's trusting more in stand up.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask about the takedowns, but even if he gets him up against the fence or something, right? I mean, I feel like that's a favorable matchup for Roman.
Yes, of course. That would be. I think that would be really good for Roman. The striking department, though, because obviously all the fights start on the feet, he would have to. One of the things I noticed with this fight between Marvin Vettori and Roman, it was almost the exact same fight as the first one, except it was 5 rounds, and neither one of those guys, and the commentators were pointing this out too, and I was like, yeah, I feel like there's something really weird with this matchup, and it's just none of these guys feint. Like, it's almost non-existent. They look, they move their head, and then they just throw. There's no like, I'm gonna try to psych you out, get you to throw first, and then counter.
Dricus Du Plessis believes that Alex Pereira has lost all of his aura after losing to Magomed Ankalaev. While reacting to the fight live, Dricus said, "Thanks Ankalaev for taking the biggest payday of my life. It's nothing personal. Aura gone." Magomed Ankalaev had a message for Alex Pereira today. On X, he wrote, "Alex, when you're ready to go again, you deserve this." Charles Oliveira doesn't think Conor McGregor will ever fight again. He says fans should forget about McGregor. Oliveira said, "To be honest, I don't know why people are still talking about Conor McGregor. He's done everything he wanted to do in the sport, and now he's choosing to live his life the way he's living it. We've been waiting for him to come back, and Michael Chandler has been waiting for about 2 years and he hasn't shown up. I think fans should forget about Conor McGregor coming back. He's not going to fight again." Oliveira also discussed a potential fight against Ilia Topuria. He continued, "Whoever I get told to fight, I'm going to fight. I have nothing but respect for Ilia Topuria, but this is lightweight. It's the most difficult division you have ever seen. I believe that I could knock Topuria out."
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Warren the Pitbull. It says, "I'm an O'Malley fan, but giving him an immediate rematch is crazy." The second one's in reference to Conor McGregor having a meeting with Donald Trump at the White House. It says, "If they find cocaine in the White House today, we all know who dropped it this time." And the final one's in reference to Tom Aspinall calling fans uneducated who thought Alex Pereira beat Magomed Ankalaev. It says, "Tom Aspinall just called me an uneducated fan. That hurts."
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.